Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? I hope you are doing well. Good morning. So, where are you listening from? Wow. So, Euro card has played out. The pair for the day has played out. Good morning. Good morning. Enoch Edusi. All right. So Euro card is the pair for the day. It has already taken off. Listening from Nigeria. Normal. Omo. Good morning. Omo. Good morning. So USD card is also playing. So Brenny, if you are here, I made you close the trade. So yesterday, the analysis we did on USD card has played off. It has played out, but it hasn't gotten to the target yet. So Euro card is also playing out. So if you guys, those who joined the stream yesterday, if you guys can remember, I talked about this Euro card. As I said, you are waiting for price to break. If price break and close, then you go in. So yesterday evening, you were waiting for price to, I was thinking maybe it's not going to move like that. But we are going to be having news event too as well. We are going to be having news events. So today is 18th. So let's check out 18th. So we are having Ajoku listening from Nigeria. So where are you guys listening from? So the rest, where are you listening from? Are you all from Ghana or other parts of the world or other parts of the other parts of the world? So where are you people listening from? Aside Ajoku is listening from Nigeria. So where are you all listening from? Which country are you listening from? So we're having Enoch from Ghana. Where are you at? So 7 o'clock, we are going to be having CPI. So we will be interpreting the CPI. We are going to interpret the CPI and see what's going to happen. So CPI is a high impact news. It's a very sensitive data to the economy. So we are going to be interpreting it and see how it's going to play out. So around 7 a.m. on GBP. So you are going to be interpreting it. So if you are here, you need to pay attention to how I'm going to interpret the CPI. So that in case maybe you want to trade the fundamentals, you can apply the same principle and you trade it. You apply the same principle to trade. So we're having Imandred from Sinyani. So Daniel, hey Danny, are you there? You've lost in the source. What's happening? You've lost in the source. Danny, what's happening? I've not been hearing from you these days. I hope trading is treating you fairly. Wow, so Euro card just played out. Euro card just played out perfectly. All right, so let's try and interpret the news and see what's going to happen. So if you are new here, you need to pay attention to whatever is going to be said over here. So today is 18th of December. So let me check out next week. So next week you are going to be having a lot of bank holidays. I hope you people can hear me. Can you people hear me? If you can hear me, kindly type 1 in the chat box. Let me know. If you can hear me, type 1 in the chat box. So next week you have a lot of news even. Next week is more of bank holidays. Okay, so I'm loud and clear, right? I'm coming. Okay, so checking out next week. Next week you have a lot of. So on Monday for next week, you are going to be having. We are going to be having card GDP on card. Okay, so next week Monday we don't have news events. On Tuesday we have bank holiday on Euro. Okay, so I think I will stop trading on 25th. So I will stop trading on 24th, either 24th or 25th. So 25th you are going to be having bank holiday. So 25th is not advisable to be trading. 26th is not going to be advisable to be trading because it's a festive season. So please relax. So 27 to so Monday 30th. So New Year, we're heading to New Year. Yeah, so you have a lot of news events from next week to next 2 weeks. So Wednesday is going to be the New Year. And we are going to be having so trading is going to pick up. It's going to pick up maybe around 10th. So from next 2 weeks, that's when is going to be picking up a lot of news events. So maybe from next week, 24th, maybe I'll stop. I'll not be watching the chat, be focusing on other things. But that way, then it's not going to be impactful like that. It's not going to be impactful like that. All right, so let's check out today. Okay, so today is what? Today, so Danny said I've been around my schedule now in the morning at work, but I watch the videos and trade the New York session. Okay, so you trade the New York session. Okay, but I hope like you are you getting consistent results on your account, or the market is treating you or is doing you shady, as in profitability, or is the market is showing you shady? Okay, so today is 18th of December 2024. We are going to be having CPI on GBP. 7 o'clock a.m. We are going to be having CPI on GBP. So what are we expecting on the GBP? CPI on GBP. What are we going to be expecting on GBP? So CPI, one thing you need to understand is what? Consumer price index. So consumer price index is like as in the prices on goods and services. Okay, so changes in prices of goods and services. So it's like an inflation data. You know, inflation simply means what? Persistent increase in the general goods and services. You get it? Persistent increase in general prices of goods and services. So if prices of goods and services are what? Increasing, what it means is what? Inflation is very high in the economy. Okay, and one thing you need to understand is what? Inflation somehow some way or somehow is good for the economy, in the sense that if inflation is high, okay, if inflation is high in the economy, what normally happens is what? The central bank, those who are in charge of what? The monetary policy in the economy, are going to increase interest rate to cut down what? Inflation. If inflation is high, okay, so this is how it goes. If inflation, this is inflation. So inflation means goods and services are what? Inflation means goods and services are increasing. Goods and services are increasing. You get it? Goods and services are increasing. So if goods and services increase, this is what the central bank will do. Okay, those who are in charge of the monetary policy, stabilization of the what? Controlling of money coming into the system and money what? Money leaving the system. Those are the central bank. So the central banks, okay, the central banks are going to what? If goods and services are high, they are going to increase interest rates. Why are they going to increase the interest rate? So they are going to increase interest rate for them to calm down what? The inflation. So when the government wants to take money from the system, the government will not come and knock on your door, or the government will not come and knock at your door that please, any money that you're having on you, bring it. That's not how the government works. So if the government wants to take money from the system, what they normally do is what? They are either going to be selling their bonds with a high interest rate. They are going to increase the interest rate so that the bond, buying a bond will be enticing. They are going to increase treasury bills, the interest rate on treasury bill, so that people will love to save more other than what? To spend more. You get it? The people will love to save more other than what? To spend more. Okay, because if you have gotten, so that's why mostly people get scammed by these Ponzi schemes. They get scammed by Ponzi scheme because of what? The interest rate, the returns they are going to be getting on their money. That's why people normally get scammed by all those things. So the same thing the government is also going to use to entice you. So the government is going to increase the interest rate. So central bank through the government, through the central bank. So anytime the government, when it comes to monitoring policies, when it comes to issues with finances, as in budgeting, when it comes to investing, when it comes to spending, the government works with the finance and what the central banks. That's what they normally do. So if they realize, oh, goods and services are increasing, people are really spending more to get a product. People are really spending more to get a services. What the central banks are going to do is what is to increase interest rate, because the government, as I already said, the government want to take money from the system. And as I said, if the government want to take money from the system, he is not coming to knock at your door to bring your money. They haven't as in they have policies. So the policies they normally use to what take money from the system is what increase interest rates. Okay, central bank will increase interest rates. So interest rates, when there's increase in interest rates, it affects anything. Okay, it affects almost everything. So when it comes to loans, and when there was an increase in interest rate, when it comes to loans, when it comes to investment, like anything, when it comes, yeah, anything, you get it, is going to be affected. So when the interest rate increases, when it comes to something like, when it comes to loans, when it comes to investment, okay, so government investment, you have like bonds, we have the treasury bills, maybe something like the fixed deposit. You get it? All these things, the interest rate is going to affect all these things. You get it? The interest rate is going to affect all these things. Okay. So now goods and services are very high in the economy. So the reason why goods and services are very high, why is goods and services very high in the economy? The reason why goods and services are very high is because there are a lot of what money chasing. Demand is chasing some supply, and the reason why demand is chasing supply is because what there are a lot of money in the pocket of people. Okay, so there are a lot of demand on goods and services. So the reason why there will be a lot of demand on goods and services is because there was money in the pocket of people. You get it? So if you are in Ghana, I don't know whether you people have been hearing this thing. Those who have been renting, especially Accra, for instance, normally we normally say the Nigerians have made renting very high, as in the landlords have increased prices on their rent, because especially when the Nigerians come around, they don't care any amount you are going to tell them, especially those who do the yahoo things. Any amount you tell them, they are going to pay. They are not going to bargain and other stuff. So normally we say, if this boys comes around, price of goods and services, like as in the cost on renting increases, because the landlords, okay, those who are in charge of the houses, normally use them as a benchmark, because any amount of money that they mention, they pay. So they thought we are all like that. Okay, so now prices of renting in Accra is very expensive because of these guys. They don't care any amount you mention, they are going to pay. They are not even going to bargain. You get it? So it's the same thing. The reason why goods and services are going to increase in an economy is because what there are more demand. Demand is chasing supply. Okay, demand is chasing supply. A lot of people are what having money. There was money in the pocket of people. So more they are like, the more you become like, even it is general in life. The more you some money touch your hand, the more you see some money in your bank account, you feel like spending. But if you don't have money, that's when you think of budgeting. But if you see consistent, when you see consistent income, when you see consistent flow of money in your account, you start to what? You start to spend. You start to spend more. Okay, so it's the same thing. So the central bank, when inflation becomes very high, they will love to take money from the system. So the only way the government is going to take money from the hands, the pockets of people, is to increase interest rates. So if interest rate is very high, those using their money to buy goods and services are rather going to shift their what? They are purchasing their as in they are going to shift their desires to what? Investing. They are going to shift their demands to what? Investing. They are not rather going to be buying goods and services, spending unnecessary. Okay, so if you have been hearing, even this the crypto bull run, people are rather buying more crypto because they think Trump is on power. Trump is what? A lover of Bitcoin. So Trump what? Bitcoin is going to be doing well. So people have rather they said 2025 Bitcoin is going to be doing well because of Trump. So a lot of people have started buying Bitcoin. So it's the same thing, because what they think they are going to get good returns. So they are not going to spend the things on unnecessary things, like things that doesn't it's not going to give them good returns, but they are rather spending it on investment. So it's the same thing that the government is going to do. So they are going to make investment very enticing. So people are not going to spend on goods and services, but they are rather going to shift their focus on what? Investing. So if you invest in bonds, at the end of maybe the 3 months, at the end of the first month, you are going to get good returns. Treasury bills, you are going to get good returns. Okay. So a lot of people, so people will no more spend, but the monies are all going to what? The government is going to take all the money from the system to stabilize what? To stabilize the spending habits for people, to stabilize the cash flow, money coming in into the system. Okay, to reduce the money coming into the system, so that goods and services. So if more people are not demanding for these goods and services, what is going to happen is what? They are going to also reduce their prices. Okay, so the renting example that I gave, if maybe people comes around and these landlords are mentioning outrageous amounts, and people are not like patronizing their rooms, what will happen is what? They are going to reduce the prices for to entice people to what? To rent. So it's the same thing. So the government is going to increase interest rates, so people will love to invest. Goods and services are going to what? The price of goods and services are going to reduce, or are going to what? Maintain the same. Okay, so that's it. So when it comes to CPI, it's an inflation data. So you check it with the numbers. So what are they expecting? The previous CPI was 2.3%. You get it? The previous CPI was 2%. And the forecasted, this is what analysts are forecasting. This is what analysts are projecting. Okay, based on the data collected, based on their research, based on anything, like based on as in based on their experience. Okay, this is what they are expecting. This is what traders, okay, big analysts, those who trade big funds, those who trade the spot market, the banks, the investments bank, and the hedge funds, gathering data from all these people. This is what they are expecting CPI is going to be what to be in. Okay, so they are expecting the inflation to increase. So when inflation increases, what is going to happen? If this one is 2.6 and this one is 2.3, so they are expecting an increase. Pairing it against the previous month, they are expecting what? An increase, which is 2.6. Okay, so if inflation data increases, what action is the central bank going to take? If inflation data increase, so who can tell me in the chat box? If inflation data increases, what action will the central bank take? I've already explained it. Who can tell me in the chat box? YouTube, who can tell me? Tell me. If inflation is higher than the previous numbers, if current or what the projected inflation figure or data is more than what happened the previous month, what action do you think the central bank is going to take? Someone should tell me in the chat box. I'm waiting. Are they going to increase interest rates? Are they going to reduce interest rates? What action exactly are they going to take? YouTube, I'm waiting. YouTube, someone should respond. What action are they going to take? if inflation is very high, okay, if cost of goods and services are very high, what action is the central bank going to take on what? It's going to take to calm down inflation? What action are they going to take? No one is responding. Interest rates will be increased. All right. Yeah, so exactly. If interest rate, if inflation data is very high, cost of changes in goods and services is very high. Okay, goods and services are very high. Inflation data, the central bank is going to what? Increase interest rate to combat the what? The inflation data. You get it? They are going to increase interest rates to combat inflation. So if interest rates also increases, what exactly will traders be expecting? If what exactly will what the investors will be doing? What investors will be doing is what they will have to put their money in what? All the investment assets. They will put their money in bonds, interest rates, and those things. So they will invest more. You get it? So what is going to happen is what we are expecting GDP to be doing well. The country, people are going to invest in the country. You get it? People are going to invest in the country. So I'm expecting. So if people invest in the country, that means the country is doing well. So if the country is doing well, the currency too is also going to be doing well. So GDP, I'm expecting what GDP to be what to be doing well. So I'm expecting strength in GDP. So let's check out GBP. So I'm expecting GBP USD to buy. If it happens, so it has even taken off. So we have 15 seconds more, 11 seconds more, 9, 8. So it has been pricing. 4 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Let's go. Exactly. Wow. So is it the effect of news? So let's refresh the data and see. Let's refresh the data and see what we said. Okay, so they kept the rate the same. The rate was the same. So when the rate is the same, normally we have indecision in the market. So 2.6 and the forecasted one is also 2.6. So this was the view for what as in traders. This is what traders were expecting, 2.6, and the actual number that came was 2.6. So it's almost the same thing. So normally when they are the same, we have indecision in the market. So that's why the market is moving up and down. Okay. So news events, when it comes to high impact news, please avoid such data. Okay, please avoid such data. It is not good for you. When it comes to news events, please avoid such data. So someone was saying the central bank would take money out of the system by increasing interest rates to entice people to invest. Yeah, exactly. So you guys are being good students. Okay, so what happened is what there was the same what. Why is the screen freezing? Frozen? My screen is being free. Okay, so let's analyze Euro card. So if you guys can remember, on Euro card, this was this was supposed to be the trade for the day. This was supposed to be the trade for the day, and it has already taken off. So if you look at the monthly time frame, so yesterday I was analyzing it with one of my best students. So you're having the monthly time frame, so the monthly time frame, we had a rejection level over here. So these are the various rejection. We're having another rejection level over here. So you guys can remember yesterday USD card has already played out perfectly. If you check the USD card analysis we did, it's played out perfectly. So you see, sometimes some of the analysis will go in your favor, sometimes it will fail, but that doesn't mean your system is wrong. So you see the risk reward. Even if you got the entry over here, your stop loss being at this point, I think it's currently around 1 to 2 or so. You get it? I think it's 1 to 2 or so. So let's check out so today is 18th. So 18th, even with the low impact news, it's only GBP. By 9:30, we are going to be having euro news too. So yesterday we were doing back testing, and we noticed some of the losses we took was as a result of even the low impact news, when there was a low impact news being released. So now you see, back testing is very, very important. You need to back test your losses. You need to find out why you lost the trade. So yesterday when we were doing our back testing with Brainy, we noticed that some of the losses we took was as a result of even the yellow folders. Okay, so now I'm going to be paying attention to the yellow folders when I'm going to execute. I need to check if there was going to be a yellow. Even if there was a yellow folder, I'll pay attention to that news folder. Okay, because one USD CHF trade I lost that later went in my favor, I took it the same time on when CHF news was being released, and I lost that trade because of that yellow folder. It was one of the central bank member of a central bank. Member of a central bank was about to speak. Okay, member of the central bank, president of the central bank was about to speak, and it affected the movement of the analysis. The analysis went different way because of because of the central bank member of the central bank speaking. So we need to pay attention to even the yellow folder. If you are entering trade around the same time, maybe 9:30, and we have a yellow folder, I think we need to pay a critical attention to that time, because sometimes it affects it. If you are about to execute a trade, so USD card is really moving very well. So this is a legendary trade for it. So the Euro card was the trade for the day and decided to. So on the monthly time frame, this was the resistance, this was the support. Okay, so price was doing more of higher highs and higher lows, so it broke this one. So as it broke this one, we're expecting price to retest on this one. You get it? So this was where we're expecting price to retest on. So on the monthly time frame, this point has already been broken. So looking at the weekly time frame, we had this price is coming to retest on this one. So the weekly time frame, what's the trend for the weekly time frame? Price made lows, making pulling back. Okay, so if price is pulling back, it's going to pull back on this. So this is the weekly time frame. Okay, this is the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame trend is what? The trend for the weekly time frame is an uptrend. So this would have been the trade for the day. The weekly is what? A downtrend. Sorry. The weekly is a downtrend. So the move you are seeing up is just a pullback. This is the main trend. This is where the trend. This was where we had a shift in structure. This is just a pullback. This is just a correction. Okay. So looking at the daily time frame, what's the trend for the day? So price made high. There was higher, low. So at this point, price was still in what? A downtrend. So price broke out. So this was the point. There was a shift in character. There was a shift in trend. Back over here, what are you expecting? A trend continuation. So now the trend is what? A downtrend. So let's identify our various levels. So there was a rejectional level over here. There was a rejectional level over here. You get it? There was a rejectional. So you see how clean. This is what a tradable zone. So we're having a tradable zone over here. You get it? You're having a tradable zone over here. So this was zone you were targeting, but price decided to move. So sometimes it do happen. Okay, when sometimes things like this do happen, maybe a trade you are looking up to take for the day, or sometimes. So the time that you enter the market to is also important. You need to pay attention to the time. Okay, this is an uptrend. The time is also very, very important when it comes to trade execution. You don't have to be taking trades on times that there was no volume. So you were expecting volume to come into the lending session, but what happened is what? So this is the tradable zone. This is the tradable zone. So looking at the H4 time frame, at the H4 time frame, price has already taken off. So what's the trend for the H4 time frame? Price made high, low, high, low. Price is just consolidating. Okay. So yesterday, I don't know how many people remember this one. Yesterday we did yesterday. So there was a rejectional level around this side. Was it at the monthly time? Yeah, so there was a rejectional level 2 over here at the weekly time frame. And the weekly time frame. So looking at the daily time frame, because I remember price got rejected at that level. It struggled before it broke through. Price really struggled before breaking through. So this was the point I was expecting the buy, like for us to take the buy, but price decided to move. So you were expecting. So if you look at the H4, so now the various time frames, the H4 time frame is what? H4 time frame 2 is an uptrend. H4 time frame 2 is an uptrend. You get it? So I was expecting us to take a buy to fill this tradable zone. We have this tradable zone over here. So this would have been, the, okay, so you would have taken it when price pulled back. around this side. So the risk reward is going to be 1 to 4. So it would have been the same as what USD card. You saw USD card when yesterday it broke out, and I was saying I'm expecting a push. So it's the same structure that is happening on what USD card also broke out. It's the same thing that what you were expecting, but it took off during what it took off during the Asian session. So this is where it took off around 2. So 2 is going to be, let me check the lower time frame and see when it took off. So 2:30 a.m. GMT, that's when it took off. So that time is outside my trading hours. I don't have to wake up because of a trade. Like, you need to have a trading plan. You need to have a time you normally what execute trade. If you don't have those times, then you are going to always be stressed out. So just be patient, wake up. So it has moved like 1 to 4, 1.49 reached reward. So this would have been the trade for the day. This was the trade I was talking to with Brainy yesterday, and the thing has decided to move. So the stop loss would have been on structure level. So where would have been there? So this is the structure. So the stop loss would have been. So it's almost close to 1 to 5. You get it? So the risk reward looks clean. So the zone is very clean. So price is going to move straight to this side. Okay, but we miss it. So I wake up around 5 something, and I first thing, mostly when I have a trade that I'm going to be executing in the morning, when I wake up, the first thing I do is to check my trading view on my phone. So when I check the trading view, I realize that this one has moved. So I just close my distance. So this is what you are expecting on Eurocard. So Eurocard has already taken off. So I'm expecting price to get to this target. So USD card, as we did the analysis we did on yesterday, price has played out perfectly, and it is close to the targets we were expecting it. So one thing about this system is when you get a trade, normally the trade really moves well because of the confluences or the confirmations we normally take into consideration. Because normally we take into consideration the daily time frame and the H4 time frame, making sure they are all in line. You get it? So most of the average trades, or maybe most of the low probability trades, are when the H4, not focusing on the H4. Those are some of the average trades. So this one is going to head to this side. This will be the target. This is going to be the target. So let's check out gold and see what's happening on gold. Okay, I think gold is giving an opportunity this morning. So let's move to the monthly time frame on gold. So on the monthly time frame, there was a rejection level over here. Looking at the weekly time frame, so the weekly time frame, we have a rejection level 2 over here. We have another rejection level 2 over here. Okay, it's not. Okay, looking at the daily time frame. So you see the daily time frame has created this resistance over here. So we have clean zone for this week to get filled. Looking at the H4, yeah. So there was an opportunity on gold. There was a sell over here on gold. There was a sell over here on gold. Yeah, but price has moved. Okay, I think it's pulling back. So when it comes to gold, so it's pulling back. Yeah, because it's the same thing over here. This setup is the same thing that happened over here. You get it? So I'm expecting it, but when it comes to issues on gold, gold can be trusted. That's it. When it comes to gold, but I'm expecting gold to fill the zone. I'm expecting the zone to fill because gold has created a resistance. You get it? Gold has created a resistance, but you see, hmm, so you're having this tradable zone over here. Uh, yeah, so I'm expecting gold to continue down because the same pattern. You see, if you check this pattern, price broke out, made a red test, created a resistance over here. What are you expecting? A trend continuation. Because if you look here, we're having tradable zone over here. But when it comes to issues on gold, price broke out. You see, price broke out from this side, pulled back. There was a pullback over here. Price created a resistance. What happened? Trend continued. You get it? The trend continued. So it's the same thing this one should also do. Okay. So if you move to the H1 time frame, so the trade is going to be on the H4 time frame, not on the H1 time frame. Not on the H1 time frame. The trade is going to be on the H4. So this one it's like a break and a red test. So with gold, but I'm expecting this one to get to this side, but this one, if it is currencies, if it is like GBP USD, I would just take a sell straight up. Or maybe USD CHF, I would just take a sell. But gold is sometimes very sketchy. But I'm expecting it to sell. Yeah, so that's the analysis. If you look at the daily time frame, price has currently got into this, has broken out from this daily time frame. You see, the daily time frame has also closed exactly the same. So I'm expecting this wick to be filled. Okay, this wick to be filled on the gold. I'm expecting that wick to be filled. And even the zone is very strong. This zone is very strong. So this will be the area of interest. Yeah. So let me check the news event. So today is 18th. We don't have any news events again. Okay, so you're going to be having FOMC. Okay. So today we are going to be having FOMC. So normally when we have FOMC, the market becomes very slow. We don't normally get volume in the market unless the interest rate has been released. Unless, so we are going to be having a release on the, either they are going to cut rates or they are going to increase rate before you see massive movement in price. One time frame. Yeah, this zone should get filled. This zone should definitely get filled, because if you consider the zone too, if you consider this zone, this you having daily over here, H4 over here, so price coming back. This candle has broken through this candle has broken below this one. Okay, the candle has broken below this one, so I'm expecting the whole of this zone to get filled. So the risk reward also looks good. But if you are looking at the smaller time frames, you are going to rather get confused. It looks good for so. Okay, so let's analyze other pairs and come back to GBP and gold. Yeah, so the daily time frame also looks very clean for this wake to get filled. And even if you look at the daily time frame, it's also having this resistance over here. You get it? So it has retested on this key level. So I'm expecting the whole of this zone to be filled. Okay, so yeah, let's check out. mm, Yeah, it should continue down. It should continue because everything looks good. Great. Everything looks good on God. Everything looks good perfectly. But I see the same setup happens over here. This one played out. But we had one over here. This one failed. It happened over here. This one failed. This one happened over here. This one went through. Because the candle has broken below the zones. The trend is a downtrend. Price has retested exactly on it, expecting a continuation. Okay, so let's check out on the other person. So USD CHF is also so. Let's move on to USD CHF. So on the monthly time frame, on USD CHF, you're having this resistance over here. You're having this support over here. So these are the various zones. If you look at the weekly time frame, so on the weekly time frame, we're having this support. There's a support over here. Looking at the daily time frame. So the daily time frame. So the weekly time frame trend is what? The weekly time frame trend is an uptrend. The daily time frame trend too. What's the daily time frame trend? The daily time frame trend is an uptrend. Weekly is an uptrend. Daily is an uptrend. So price is currently what? Price is currently pulling back on the daily time frame. So if price is pulling back, going to pull back on this strong level. Looking at the H4 time frame, but H4 is what? A downtrend. So this is what I call B setup. So I won't take such trade, okay, unless maybe I see a structure shift. So maybe I want to see a structure like this. When structure breaks, then it's what? It will move in line with what? The daily time frame, the H4 time frame. Sorry, the daily time frame. So when structure shifts, it will be in line with what? It will be in line with the daily and the weekly time frame. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting it to happen. So when it shifts structure or shift trend, then it will be, so the weekly will be downtrend, but currently this one is kind of ranging. Okay, this is kind of ranging now. This is kind of ranging. It's kind of ranging now. Looking at the H4 time frame, so price, there was no good zones over here. So you see the zone that we we are seeing on Euro card. So these are the zones you are expecting it to happen every day. You get it? You see this clean zone. These are the things that I want to be seeing. So you see USD card too. You saw the perfect zone. So these are the zones. So if you look left, even there was no price action to left. So these are it's bigger zones are the ones that we have to aim for. So gold is playing out. Gold is playing out. It should play out. It should play out. But one thing is, gold is very sketchy when it comes to. Yeah, so these are the things that we need to be looking up to, or these are the things that you need to be looking for. Okay, these are the things you need to be looking for, because this one, the ranges, you see a lot of ranges. So these ones I will not love to trade within these zones. A lot of ranges. So there was no clarity on USD CHF. There was no clarity on USD CHF for now. So we need to wait for the USD CHF to give us a clear zone or a clean zone. Then we take advantage of that. But currently, there's no clarity on USD CHF at the moment. So let's wait for a clarity on USD CHF, because the H4 time frame is currently a downtrend. Okay, it's currently a downtrend. So we need to wait for maybe either price will come. I don't know how it's going to do, but we are still waiting. But there's no trade opportunity on USD card, or there's no setup even on USD CHF. So let's check out on GBP USD. Yeah, so GBP USD. Looking at GBP USD, of late, GBP USD December hasn't been good. It hasn't been doing well for me at all. As in, like, the market structure, it has been ranging a lot. So we have this zone over here. So we had this support level 2 over here. There was this support level 2 over here. Looking at the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame trend is what? Even though the weekly time frame trend is a downtrend. Looking at the daily time frame. The daily time frame trend too is also a downtrend. Currently, let me check out whether we have some. Yeah, so the daily time frame trend too is also a downtrend. So currently H4, weekly and daily are in the same direction. It's only H4 which is in what? An uptrend. H4 is what is in an uptrend. So yesterday I've even cleared the chart. I said I'm expecting price to what? Come to this side, make a nosedive to come down. So it's happening exactly. But one thing is what? I don't want to be taking an average trade. So normally I call my average trade when I'm focusing solely on what? The H4 time frame. So like gold like this, the gold is what? The one thing about gold is normally I focus on the H4 time frame because of how volatile it is, because of how fast it is. But when it comes to the slow currencies, when it comes to the slow pairs, I normally concentrate on. It's better I use the daily and H4. Okay, that's where I get my high probability setups. But gold is very volatile. One thing I've noticed, or one thing I've analyzed, one thing I've realized about gold is what it normally gets respected, or it normally respects the H4 time frame structure. Okay, it normally respects H4 structure. it normally respects H4 structure. So yeah, it should move down. It should move down. But it's currently on this strong area. It just made a pullback on this strong area. So maybe when lending opens, you are going to be seeing some downs movement. You need to see some downwards move. Because it's very simple. This is just break and retest entry. It's very, very simple. Good. And the zone 2 is very strong. The zone is very strong. So if you have followed me for some time, I've been saying this is one of my favorite trade setup. This is my favorite trade setup. Especially when all the time frames are in the same direction. A candle giving a resistance, or a candle creating a support. So this one, the candle has created a resistance over here. What are you expecting? A trend continuation. So the same pattern is over here. The same pattern over here. Price created a resistance. Price created a resistance over here. Price created a resistance. What happened? Trend continuation. So if I always say the patterns repeat itself, you need to understand this one too has made a pullback. There was a pullback over here. Price has created a resistance over here. Yeah, so it should continue down. It should continue down. So what do you guys think on gold? Yeah, so I think it should continue down. To continue down. Yeah, so this would have been the entry. Maybe a pullback or something over here. So the risk reward is also looking good. But I think maybe lending open. Yeah, lending open will move it. Lending open it's going to is going to move it down. It's going to bring some volume in the market. Yeah, it should move. It should move. So one thing is sometimes the analysis will fail. Sometimes it will work, but majority of the time. So you see the same pattern over here. The same pattern over here. Price filled. So yesterday we had. Was there any news event? Okay, maybe. Okay, maybe there was a news event yesterday. Yeah, so yesterday we had a news event, so I think maybe that's the reason. So let me check it out. Yeah, so I think the news was the reason. So 7 o'clock. Yeah, I think the news was the reason price moved down. So gold is doing well this morning. Gold is doing well this morning. So this one, if you entered, you can break even. So this is not magic, okay? It's not magic. You just have to know what works for you. That's all. That's all about trading. Just know the patterns. So I have my patterns. That I trade. So if I see them, so yesterday when we came to the chart, I said there was opportunity on USD card because I've seen it. I've just visualized them. When you go back to the stream, I said there was opportunity on gold. So I know my pattern. So it's the same thing. Trading too is what do you call it? That's how trading works. Know your patterns. So this one, like this, the price is far from the area of interest. This is the area of interest. So price is far from the area of interest. So I'm hoping London Open is going to bring in some volume. Then gold will continue the downwards movement. So since last week, gold has been respecting my system very, very well. So we have 12 minutes for the landing session to open. So I'm thinking maybe that time it will move it further down. It will move it further down straight to TP. So this point will be TP. I think even the H1, the 30 minutes even gave a nice, created an engulfing, created a bearish candle, Price continue. Because the thing is, if you look at the daily time frame has broken out, giving us a flip. So expecting a continuation. And H4 has created a support. You see this strong support. So it's looking good. But one thing, you are going to be having FOMC. I just want to see how London Open is going to do. So trading has become fun now. Okay, after the after the mistakes, I later found out what works for me. I've later gotten my system, and it is proving, and people using it out. It's working for them. As I'm saying, not every day. That sometimes. So sometimes it's part of it's in all strategies. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it will fail. But majority of the times, your risk to reward is going to overshadow all the losses. So when it comes to currencies, I use the daily and H4. Only gold. Okay, gold is the only thing that I check structure on H4. Okay, only gold that I check. I don't normally look at the daily structure because gold is very volatile. It moves very fast, so it responds or it respects normally the H4 structure. But when it comes to currencies, I normally prefer combining the daily and H4. So that's my principle. And when I start, I check the news events. I check if there was high impact news. I pay attention to, based on my previous losses. I noticed that some of the losses that I take was coming from what the news event. So even if there was an art or a news event, I don't normally trade that time. How can you grow a small account, boss? So you need to ask yourself, do you have a strategy? So it's like buying a prop firm account. Do you have a strategy? Like, you see, when I come to the chat, if you have followed me, I don't know for how long have you followed me. If you follow me, you've seen me doing the same thing every day. So you need to ask yourself, do you have a system? Do you have a strategy? Do you have something of that sort? If you have a strategy, ask yourself, is it having a proven track record that it works? Okay. Before you start growing small account. And growing that small account, one thing you need to understand is you are going to be having ups and downs. The market is not going to be moving linear. It's not going to move straight line. You have some losses, you have some wins, but you have to make sure your wins are more than your losses. So that's it when it comes to growing small accounts. You need to make sure you have a system. Do you have a strategy you follow daily? You follow religiously? If you are not having strategy, then you can't grow small accounts. And you need to apply risk management. You need to ask yourself, how much are you risking per trade? If you over leverage the accounts, you can lose the accounts, because you need to bear in mind what trading is a game of probability. Okay, so it's very risky. If you plan to grow it within, if you decide to grow it within a week, maybe growing $100 to maybe 1,000 within a week, you have to understand that there's possibility that you can blow the account. There's going to be a possibility that you can grow the account very fast. You get it? because the game is a game of chances. Sometimes a nice setup, A plus setup might fail. You get it? A plus setup might fail. So you need to apply risk management in all your trades. Don't over leverage. If you over leverage, you go to the village very fast. Don't over leverage. That's it. You don't have to over leverage your account. So if you don't have a system, if you do things randomly, taking signals from people, today you are doing your own analysis, tomorrow you are taking signals from this person, there's no way you will see consistency. So focus on yourself, work on yourself, and see what you are doing wrong. So that you trading is all about tracking your what you are doing wrong. Okay, what you are doing wrong. So find out what you are doing wrong. Even in life in general, anything that you are doing, you need to reassess yourself. Ask yourself, this decision you took, why did you take this decision, and other stuff. And that, and I started implementing those things. Every move that I've been taking, I just started implementing that policy. I just reassess myself. I ask myself questions. What strategy did I use for this one to source? What did I use? And it works. The same thing that I applied in trading, and I got myself a system, because trading was hard. Okay, trading was hard. So I figured out what I do, and I what started getting my system that works. So Euro card is pulling back. So let's see. So you see this one, the break was very close to the area of interest. You get it? The break was close to the area of interest. So this is the area of interest. The area of interest is at the daily time frame. So you have like 3 minutes for the lending to open. So I'm very sure when lending opens, you can see. Yeah. So think. So let's see how lending open is going to play out. Ah. So Euro card has been slow but sure moving to the target. So London opens. For 90 minutes more, 18. Yeah, so London opens, brought in some volume. Yeah. Wow, so you see how London opens, brought in some volume. So if you are fortunate and the volume goes into your favor, the gold is doing very, very well this morning. Gold is doing very, very, very well. Expecting the analysis we did. Expecting the analysis we did. Wow. So God has respected the analysis we did perfectly. 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 So last week, I think I have to start taking God seriously. The last week we did analysis over here. Price played out very well. We did analysis over here. Price played out very well. The same analysis played out very well. So this one too played out. So this will be the target. This point, this level will be the target. Okay, guys, if you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. Kindly drop it in the chat box. So God has really played out very well. It has played out very well. Okay. Okay, so if there's no question, so you see, if you analyze a trade, okay, and the analysis, everything goes in your favor, you have to reanalyze it again. If that after the thing has played out, that's how you become good at trading. You have to reanalyze it again and find out what did you even see before price moving in your favor. So the reason why, the moment if you guys remember, I said I'm seeing opportunity on gold because of what I saw. Similar thing over here. I saw similar thing over here and price moved. So the same thing has happened over here and price what moved. The same thing happened over here. So it should head straight to this side. Okay, so guys, the analysis we did on gold played out perfectly. Okay, so this is not magic. It's all about, I just steady my wins. That's why my analysis plays out more often. I normally steady my wins. So you need to know your moves. Okay, just know your moves. Know your moves. That's all. And you react accordingly. So the risk reward was close to 2 point. The risk reward is 2.7, and now it has gotten to 1-to-1, more than 1-to-1. Yeah. Well, I'm very happy. Like, I'm very, very happy. Gold. I'm very happy the way gold is moving. I'm very happy the way gold is moving this month. I'm very happy. So maybe the target will be this side. Yeah. So maybe it will be at this side. So now the H4 lows has been broken. The H4 lows has been broken. So the chances that price will continue down is very high. So do you people think it will get to the target? Do you think gold will get to the target, or it will retrace? What do you guys think? What do you people think? What is gold going to do? Wow. Good. Good. Analysis played out because last week I predicted, was it last week? Was it last 2 weeks or last week? So this is 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. Yeah. So last week I predicted gold back to back. So this move I predicted it. This move I predicted it. Yeah, so I predicted one over here, but this one looks like it failed. This one failed. Was it? Yeah, this one. Okay, so I think structure got maintained, but the candle broke. You get it? The candle broke, but structure got maintained, and later it flipped. So gold really respects. It really respects the H4 structure. I bet you. So this one like this is the structure level. So I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of with the stop loss. Normally, I think structure level, but normally, if you are using the H4 structure level, the stop loss is going to be very wide. It's really going to, especially if you are taking a trade over here and you are using structure, this structure. See, the stop loss is going to be wide. But that's what makes sense too. Okay, so this one, for instance, suppose maybe if the stop is over here, price was just doing a pullback and it will continue. So there was this one too looks good. So it looks good. So gold has been respecting the analysis that I've been doing. Has been respecting it back to back, back to back, back to back. Okay, guys. So kindly give a like to the stream if you have not liked the stream. So I give free information, trade signals, and everything on the stream. Okay, everything on the stream we give it for free. So kindly give a click on the thumbs up button, give a like to the stream, give a like to the stream. So one thing about the how to trade is what, like, mostly everyone sees it differently. Everyone has its own way of analyzing the market. So if you want to be good at trading, just know what works for you and you stick to that. You get it? You have to have your own way of analyzing, seeing the market, and you stick to that. Perfect it, and you become good at it. Don't be shifting systems, because the place you are moving to, a time will come where they're also going to be experiencing losses. So losses is part of the game. So just stick to your plan and you move accordingly. Okay, guys. So if there was no question, I think so. I'm expecting gold to come to this side. So this is the take profit for gold. I'm just hopping off. So today we are going to be having FOMC. Okay, so interest rate for the Fed, are they going to cut rates? So this is what they are expecting, 4.50, 4.7. So maybe there's going to be a rate cut. Okay, they are going to expect, they are going to cut rate 4.5. The previous one was 4.75. So if they cut rate, that means the dollar should be weak. So if the dollar is going to be weak, then the gold should buy. Then gold should be strong. So it's pulling back. So you need to be, so one thing about FOMC is when we have FOMC events, okay, after the lending session, from experience, the market becomes very slow. It becomes very slow. So please be careful with that. The market will become very slow unless the news has been released before you see major moves. So those who will gamble on the FOMC too, that's fine. But please, since you can get a nice move, why do you have to even rush to be chasing the news event? The normal days you can get a nice move. So this morning there was a nice, if you know how to analyze, you don't have to be chasing news events. I want to make money. How much at all are you going to be making from this news event? Just relax and wait for it. When there's calmness in the market, then you trade. How many pips are you even going to catch from this news event? That's it, not how much. How many pips are you even going to catch from this news event? Relax, wait for a clean day, days that you don't have any high impact news. So days like this, days which is filled with only yellow and maybe orange folders, you trade within that day. When you see red, avoid. Okay, when you see red, you avoid. Then you trade when there's what high. You trade when there's what when there's no high impact news. That's the best time to trade, not chasing what red folders, trading down red folders. It's not going to. I hope you guys saw what happened on GBP this morning on the pound. You saw what happened on the pound. You see what price decided to move up, later came down. So imagine maybe you are trying to what scalp on the news. You see what would have happened to you. Price will just stop you out and later came down. Price would have stopped you out. You get it? Price would have stopped you out. So it's always important you avoid that news event. So from experience, from my past losses, I realized that I was trading when I see an hour before news events, I'm not even going to take a trade. An hour before news events, I'm not even going to take a trade. An hour before news events, I'm not going to take a trade. I'll have to wait for the news to be released before I'll even think of taking trades. So don't be chasing this thing, chasing this high impact news. Oh, you see, there was a hype on social media about that high impact news. You see some these gurus, come let's trade CPI, come let's do this, bro. Those things, how many pips are you even going to get from that moves? So go this retracing. How many pips are you even going to get from that moves? 10 pips, 20, 15 pips, and you are going to risk a very huge amount of you are putting your account at risk. So you see, even though whatever you are doing in this market is all about risks, but we have high risks and low impact risks. You get it? Some of the risks are very high, even though the forex market itself is a very high because of its volatility, but some of the risks is very high. So gold is pulling back. Gold decide to pull back. So this one, if I entered over here, I'll be close to what? Break even. Because the market moved more than 1-to-1, I will not expose myself. I'll break even. So gold decided to pull back. Yeah. So it just pull back. Okay, guys. See you all tomorrow, same time. Bye bye. Thank you all for streaming. So I hope you guys are getting value for what I've been teaching. I hope you guys are learning from whatever I'm doing over here. Okay, so see you all tomorrow, same time. Bye. So we normally meet around 6:30. I normally come. So because of the daylight savings, I come around 6:30 a.m. GMT to what? To 8 o'clock, 8:20, 8:30 GMT. Okay, so I hope you are getting value. Are you people getting value on whatever I've been teaching? Are you people getting value? Should I continue or I should stop? You guys should tell me. I plan of stopping. What do you guys think? Should I continue or I should stop? Are you people getting value on whatever I've been teaching? And as you applied it, is it working? Okay. Okay. So you people are saying I shouldn't stop. Yeah, so you need to show up every day and share the channel too to your friends too as well. Okay, you need to share it to your friends. Good morning. Hey Brenny. Oh Charlie. When your trade went in your favor, the thing really moves furthermore. So your trade moves furthermore. So it's moved to additional close to 20 pips. Yeah, so holding trade too is very difficult. Holding trades too is very difficult. So I'm very sure it will move further up. I'm very sure it will move further up. Oh, yesterday you would have held your trades and I said close the trade. This would have been your trade for the week. This would have been the trade for the week. But all the same, Charlie, we are learning. So at least first you wouldn't have been able to. At first you wouldn't have been able to hold it to this far, but now you were patient to. So you will talk back door. You will talk about it back door. Okay, so guys, see you all same time tomorrow. Bye bye. So you guys should be this thing. Next year you are going to make massive moves. I always say this thing. I know what I'm talking about.